Hi everyone, it's Christina from East Kitchen, and today we are going to be making spicy Korean ramen. My thoughts on this, my personal thoughts on this are, if you treat ramen like the stuff that you had in school, in college, in university, the things that you put in the microwave or that you can, make essentially in, 1 or 2 minutes, then that is what your ramen is going to taste like. But the Koreans do it differently. They definitely celebrate ramen. So today we're putting out all of the stops. I'm adding in everything that I want to add in. It's still very easy, very quick to make, but it's going to be very gourmet, very, very delicious. Let's talk about the noodles first. So in Korean, it's ramyeon. I'm gonna be very crinkly, hold on. What do they say? A dish is really the sum of its ingredients. If you start off with good ones, you are going to end up with good ones. So to start off with, check out, so this is Korean ramyeon. Okay, the Korean noodles, they are thicker. When they cook, they're not like soggy and they still have some nice like bite and chew to them. That is what you want. The other thing that I wanted to mention was ramen noodles, they're not all vegan, right? So you have to be really careful because sometimes for some reason, things will contain like milk powder. A lot of the times they'll have like different like kind of meat granules inside the broth. Today I'm going to show you also like a little side recipe of how you can make your own DIY noodle packets. Compliments of me. I just added some dehydrated vegetables to it so it's prettier, but you can just basically use this as you would instant ramen packages. There you go. So now let's put together the spicy, like additional Korean sauce to make this one uber special. So 2 tablespoons of this Korean chili paste. It's new, so have like 1 set of measuring spoons, so I don't want to do the sticky bits first. So 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, next we need 2 teaspoons of the ramen packet seasoning, 2 teaspoons of ramen seasoning, and then we have Korean chili powder. This really depends on how brave you are. I personally am not a very brave soul when it comes to this stuff, but for you guys, I'm going to put in an extra teaspoon. Watch as I die. Do I have all of the dry stuff already? Now, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. So with soy sauce, you guys have to kind of be careful because sometimes, like I've noticed, like with the Chinese soy sauces, they're a little bit less salty than say like the Japanese soy sauces. So a good gauge for me is like always put a little bit less, and then you can kind of try out the sauce afterwards, and then you can add in some additional stuff. So now we have 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. 1. Next we have ketchup, so 1.5, sure, that's a lot. So my thing is, usually I'm not very good with spices. Everybody knows that. So what I'll do sometimes is like if I'm making a dish, or if I'm like making a dish like for you guys, I end up just putting in a lot of ketchup. And so it kind of looks like it's chili sauce, but it's actually not. But in this case, the ketchup's really nice because the ketchup's like a little bit sweet, it's a little bit tangy, so it brings in a lot of good flavor. 2 teaspoons of like a rice syrup, or you can use whatever syrup that you want, but syrups kind of make it like ooey, and it helps to coat the... I always find that like when chefs say like, oh, just put in like 2 tablespoons of this, that's more like half a cup. 2 tablespoons of our Korean chili paste. So I'm just gonna mix all of this together. It becomes like, it's really spicy, but it has like all of these like sesame oil, spices. You know, you can smell like the tanginess from the ketchup as well. So yeah, this is the mix that we are going to be putting into our ramen. Put it to the side. Okay, so I think we're gonna just fry off some of the meat first, and then we're gonna cook the noodles, and then bring it all together. And my bacon. Not too crispy, but probably just enough.
Now with the noodles, I'm just gonna pre-cook them for like 1 minute, very lightly, because it's going to be cooked again. Okay, so now I'm just going to put it into a strainer, probably run it under some cold water, and the bamboo strainer just kind of keeps everything nice and aerated.
Okay, so now we're gonna put everything together. I have this gold pot that I got from Korea, so I think it'll be really, really pretty. So to start off, you can make this as dry or as wet as you want, but obviously like the seasoning, you can like put in a little bit less, but I wanted this to really like bubble. So I'm gonna put in like about 1.5 cups of water, and then I'm going to add in this stuff. I'm just gonna wait for that to come to a boil. Literally everything comes together super, super quickly. Put in my noodles. I have some kimchi that I'm going to add in, maybe like in the middle somewhere. That's kind of pretty. Should I do corn? I'm not sure. I'm adding some corn, but I don't want to cover up the noodles either. Come back, corn. End off with some scallions up top. Oh, this is looking good. Put in some seaweed. And some toasted sesame. Ooh, that looks good. Et voila. You can smell the sesame oil and the spiciness and all of the toppings that we put on top. So let's try this out. So this is probably enough for like 3 to 4 people because of like, you have the ramen in there, but like check out all of this goodness. Come on, that looks amazing. Okay, I'm gonna just go in. It's very spicy, but it's very good. Like, even though it's spicy, there's still like, you have like the tanginess from some of like the ketchup. It's really good because you still have like the sesame oil, like everything is really balanced. It's not just spicy, it's like spicy good. Try a piece of our bacon, which are really soaked up actually. Surprisingly, even though we put it on top, it's soaked up some of that like soup thing that we've added. So yeah, okay. Guys, that's really it for me, this spicy Korean ramen recipe. I think it would be really great for parties because I'm looking at this now and I feel like it could feed like 4 people. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this really easy but very gourmet-esque recipe. Let me know if you guys end up trying it. Put some comments down below, and yeah, I will see you guys again next time. All right, bye.